I see a lot of new resellers and groups on Facebook talking about reselling sneakers and reselling shoes. And I'm just going to do a really quick tutorial video kind of going through one of probably the most frustrating things ever when selling shoes. So stay tuned.
I said rusty and old, silver and gold off, and anybody will go at the auction. He buying the whole show. That's just how the life of a picker goes. On a repost, ain't no one knows like Big Shane. He on the tube, educate your brain, give you a free game.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's Shane the Rise and Grind Picker, and I'm coming at you from my eBay warehouse. And I'm going to talk today about probably one of the worst things ever about selling shoes online. I'm a six-figure eBay seller. I just started on eBay pretty much full tilt this year. And in the last couple years, I primarily sold on Amazon, where I done my best year was like $550,000 on Amazon. And this is kind of a video that hits a little close to home for me. Before we go any farther, please smash that like button. And I appreciate if you would also subscribe to my channel. And if I've earned your subscription today, I appreciate it. But if I haven't, well, crap happens. So this is where I do my eBay photos at. And let me share with you just the shots I would take of the shoes. And I always had a really actually clear and crisp picture online. So here's an eBay listing of mine for some shoes. And as you can see, my pictures are pretty good. But you would not ever believe probably one of the worst problems I had with shoes. And there's a lot of new sellers out there that are selling shoes because shoes are great for a few reasons, okay? They have really high profit margins. You can sell shoes for infinity amount. Like basically the market dictates what it's worth. So you might find a pair of Nikes that sell for $500-600 to some Nikes sell for $2,000 or $3,000. Some sell for more. Sneakers and shoes are one of those things that is kind of a collectible, but then you wear it. So it could be both. I've always sold clothing on eBay, and I think my first item I've ever sold on eBay was actually a piece of clothing back in 2006. And it was a prom dress. That was the first item I ever sold on eBay. So you can kind of understand I sell a lot of clothing, but I also sell a lot of hard goods. I'm an everything store. I know, and I believe I'm also an expert in several categories. But the one thing with shoes is when I started selling shoes, I didn't really know a lot about them. And I started getting a lot of returns back. And I really started really hardcore selling shoes a couple years ago. It's actually been maybe about a year and a half ago-ish, around that time frame, and it hasn't been very long. And I started getting a lot of returns. So I was actually talking to one of my VAs. I have a VA that lists a lot of women's clothing for me and a lot of other clothing. And it just gives me a little bit of help, and it gives me a little bit of time to kind of build a draft bank on eBay so that maybe I could take a couple days off when I need to. My VA, I told her, I'm like, man, I'm getting all these returns in shoes, but I know for a fact, like, shoes are different. Like, these are Brooks, like Brooks shoes. So I'm a size 13, but in Brooks shoes, I wear a men's size 11. It's really weird. Some shoes, the sizes are just drastically different. And the crazy thing is, okay, is I started doing this with my shoes in the listing. This is what my VA suggested to me. And I'm going to put a picture right here where I just do a simple heel to toe measurement with a tape measure. Because I measure lots of clothing anyway, so I'm very used to that. And I do a simple heel to toe measurement with a tape measure. And so far, the ones that I am selling with the tape measure in the photo, I haven't been able to tell if the returns are going to be decreased. I haven't had one return yet, but I just don't know. I just started doing it, and she claims that this works, so I'm going to try it out. I trust her. She actually was a clothing seller before she started being my VA. She still dabbles in clothing a little bit. And so anything to help the returns out, I'm going to do. Because here's the thing. No matter how good the photos are of a pair of shoes, okay? This is going to be an example. So these are Fat Boy boots, okay? They're women's Western boots. All right, now if I get a pair of Ariats and let's say, or actually these are Ariats. So these are Ariat Fat Boys. So if I get a pair of Justins, I didn't mean Ariats. If I get a pair of Justin boots, okay, and compare them to these Ariat Fat Boys, I think that the sizes in the Justin boots are going to be smaller. Because I do think Justin boots run smaller. If they don't run smaller, they're actually more narrow. So Ariats, to me, are a little bit wider of a boot, and the sizes are a little bit more larger. So you have these shoe sizes that you are going to have to know. If you don't wear that size, you're not going to know that it's bigger or smaller. So I started doing a measurement from, like I said, so it would be the heel. Let me show you this. The heel, and I just get the tape measure flush and do the toe. And as you've seen in that one photo earlier, I just take the measurement. So I think this would help because some people, if they know about what they wear in size and they're flipping through these shoes and they say, oh, this is an Ariat Fat Boy, but I've never worn a pair of Ariats. They can see that measurement and they can compare it. So when they ask, so this is, and I actually just had a message like this. So I had a message on eBay shortly after I started doing this, and they asked me, they said, do you have a measurement of the heel to toe? And I'm like, yep, it's in the photos. And they're like, great. And they bought them and they never returned them. So I think it's going to work. And I think that now if people also ask me, they're like, well, does this size run small? Hey, the measurements are in the photos. Go take a comparison and you should be able to fit them to your foot really well. That's what I'm going to start doing. And the biggest problem that I wasn't ready for in the shoe category was returns. Hey, I really appreciate your viewership and thanks for watching this really kind of short informational video on shoes. I'm going to be putting out more of these, but I'm also going to be putting out more of other videos as well, like thrifting and all sorts of other stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun and I appreciate it and thank you. And I'll see you on the next one.